My name's Robert Bresnahan.
And what do you think happens to the racehorses after they retire?
After they retire, I was a trainer. I used to donate my horses to the Standardbred Retirement Foundation, and they're a great organization. There's some horses that will go to the Amish. There's many things, good and bad, but I always sent mine to the Retirement Foundation.
Yes, hi, my name is Evelyn Calhoun.
And what do you think happens to the racehorses after they retire?
I wish they could come home with me, but I guess they just go out to pasture.
My name's John Smith. Grown up in this business. My mother's actually worked at the racetrack since I was 8 months old, so I'm pretty familiar with the horses.
And what do you think happens to the horses after they retire from racing?
Well, there's a lot of different options. A lot of them, what they'll do is they'll teach them how to be riding horses, therapy horses, and things of that nature. There's a lot of good people in this business that look for aftercare. The best of the best are the people that the horse earned them enough money where they'll actually bring the horse to their farm or find a forever home for the horse and even pay the bills on that horse for the rest of the horse's life.
Hi, I'm Leo Iordan. I'm a Standardbred trainer, sometimes driver, sometimes owner.
And what is your perspective about what happens to the horses when they retire?
I wish all the horses that I was fortunate to train over the years have the best home that they could have the rest of their life. I mean, I wish I had a lot of money where that could be possible, but that's why we are very proud supporters of the Standardbred Retirement Foundation and Judy Bachman, Paula Campbell, and people like that do a great job in taking care of our horse equine, hopefully for the rest of their life.
My name is Joe Kowalczyk Jr.
What do you think happens to Standardbreds after they retire from the track?
I hope they go to the green pastures and not the slaughterhouses.
Standardbreds are definitely the underdog of the horse world. And a lot of people have the greatest misconception is that they can't canter, which is completely false. They definitely can canter. And pacers or trotters, it doesn't matter. I think just athletically it comes more easier to some, whether they're a trotter or a pacer. And really, it just takes a lot of time. Please do not knock over the camera.
Good job, buddy. What do you think? You want to walk over some poles? So there are a lot of trainers that want to do the right thing, but they're not finding anybody who will take the horse, because that's part of the problem is nowadays if you have a thoroughbred, you have a cheap thoroughbred claimer, anybody will take that horse. They'll buy it from you because there's so many incentives to retrain one. There's the shows, there's the RRP, there's a lot of money in it, there's all special classes for thoroughbreds, so it's a lot easier to get rid of a thoroughbred. There's some people you couldn't pay to take a standardbred because there's such a stigma against them as riding horses. People are like, well, they can't ride, they can't canter, they're jugheads, they don't move nice, whatever.
I think I read a statistic that for every one thoroughbred that makes it to a kill pen, there are 19 standardbreds. And I'm not sure what the reason for that is, but a few years ago when we were at New Holland, we saw this horse go in through the sales ring. And I don't know what it was about him, but he caught both of our hearts, and we were not in a position at the time to bring him home. But he put his head up in that sales ring and he knew he was somebody, and he had such pride and such presence. And it still makes me choke up a little bit thinking about that horse because we couldn't do anything to help him at the time. But we decided then and there, going forward, that when we could, we were gonna rescue a Standardbred. And it took a few years, but we did.
Good boy.
I have known a lot of owners, and I do believe that a lot of them are not aware of what happens to these guys when they're done racing and when they go. I actually too didn't realize a lot of the situations that they end up being put in. So it's just really unfortunate because you have this horse, you like this horse, and you realize the horse isn't gonna race forever and isn't gonna be competitive forever. And I just feel like there's so many other things these guys can do that, and honestly, other horse owners out there who would benefit from having a Standardbred. They are, in general, a very easygoing, mellow breed. A lot of times they're used to seeing everything, whether they raced or not.
You got this crazy hair. You never know that you are the queen of the jungle out here, huh? Looking at you, you never know you're the boss. Unfortunately, it's a breed that isn't well known yet. You still have the typical people that say, oh, Standardbreds can't canter. All they do is pace. They can't, and it's just ridiculous. I know several friends have upper level, dressage horses. You've seen eventers and jumpers and on the circuit, not just local stuff. They are the most marvelous animals, and they need more exposure. And I things like what Brielle's doing, trying to get an incentive program the way the thoroughbreds have, trying to get more owners like this little guy I got out of the kill pen. His owners didn't really have an idea how that works, and now they've seen, where they end up and how it goes and where they could end up. We need more people to step up. If we have more owners who are donating right off the track, it helps a lot. You don't have to deal with the years of Amish work that they have to do and go through, and the the injuries that result and the wear and tear that results. More and more people these days. My friend Stacy Chiodo just rehomed a horse right off the track, 3-year-old, gorgeous, well-bred horse with Brielle. He's going to go on, hopefully, to an eventing career. But if we can get them straight from the track the way the thoroughbreds do, they have a lot more advantage. They're younger, they're not broken down yet.
They get a Standardbred and they're just blown away. They're like, wow, they can actually do this stuff. They have wonderful temperaments, all this stuff. But unfortunately right now, there's not a huge demand for them as riding horses. So without racing, if you got rid of racing, where would all these horses go? The Amish, the kill pen, So racing has to exist because there's also what these horses are bred for. There's horses that love to do it. I own a racehorse right now, and he likes to race. He goes out every week. He knows his job. He loves it. He does well. And then I bring him home and I trail ride him, and when he's done, he's going to be a show horse. And there's people who really do care about the horses. I can't tell you how many people I see. There's grooms, just like me, grooms that took care of a racehorse. 10 years later, the horse ends up in a kill pen, and they're scraping pennies together to help that horse out. Or there's trainers, they trained the horse 15 years ago, and they still scrape pennies together to help that horse out. So there's a lot of good people in it, and we need racing, and we need racing support and all of the media attention they get, to bring attention to these horses off the track. So we have to work hand in hand with each other. The thing is, without this sport, without racing, at this point in time, there would really be no purpose for the Standardbred.
We have Amish friends. I think it's like any other population group. No matter what group you look at, there's people that care for their animals well, and there's people that don't. I think that Kiss definitely had a soft place to land this time, and he's going to be with us forever.
Yeah, I mean, the Amish are just like any other person. Some people work their horses hard, don't take care of them. Some people, work them hard and take care of them. So it's just, we have a lot of friends that are Amish, and I don't have any ill feelings against the Amish and what they, what most of them do with their horses. They take care of them because they need them.
So my business is called Trot Standardbred Retraining. My whole thing is a retraining business. So I typically get horses, a trainer who has a racetrack trainer will be like, this horse isn't working out, it's slow, or sometimes they have injuries, and they contact me to take the horse, and then I rehab the horse if necessary, and then I break the horse to ride, I retrain it, I evaluate it, and then I adopt it out to an appropriate home. There's really not a program in New Jersey that is taking horses off the track. So I take the horses in for retraining, I evaluate them, and then I adopt them out to homes. They have to apply, there's a whole contract. I make sure it's a good fit. And then, say the horse doesn't work out, stuff happens. The horses can always come back, and then we'll find them another suitable home. So the horses are followed up on for the rest of their life.
I currently, now that I'm not working, try to kind of babysit. I take other people's that are, on layoffs, stall rest, things like that, look after them. Wherever I can help out, I feel like I want to give back to the industry that gave me so much. It gave me a career this whole time, and just so much joy. They're just the most incredible animals. I've never met another breed like them, that they'll just do anything you ask and try so hard and never say no. So lately that's what we're doing, just kind of seeing where it goes. I had the opportunity to get one out of the kill pen 7 weeks ago, as a matter of fact. His connections had been looking for him his whole life, and finally found him, thank God. He was already tagged for slaughter. When I saw his picture, I said, I'll help. So I went and picked him up, and he stayed here with me for 7 weeks, and just to watch him transform from skeletal and lifeless to, a spark in his eye and bucking and kicking with his friends. And so, again, they just get in your soul. There's nothing you can do about it. You might as well go with it. And so that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at these days. Just loving life here with the horses, and appreciating what they've given me and what they continue to give me. So silly.
I try to pair horses that are just straight coming off the track to homes, because most of the time I have several people asking me like, hey, how do I get a Standardbred? Where do I get them from? And sometimes I'm able to find, perfect matches for people, and they literally go straight from the track, straight to a new home. But a lot of people also want them to go with contracts, because they want to make sure that they don't end up in an auction type situation. So, I always encourage, people who are doing that to, say to them, if you don't want the horse, like, please bring it back. So, they're fairly easy to come by, especially in the States where there's a lot of harness racing. So, Dream did race. She raced at 2 and 3. She actually had a start, I think it was 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks right before she came to me. She just was too slow. And so it happens. I don't know the exact number, but it was like $2,449 is like all that she had won. so almost $3,000. But the trainer owned her mother, and this was her last foal. And they just wanted her to have a good home, so they, started putting out their feelers for people, and she ended up with me. So she is an off-the-track Standardbred who did race. my goals with Dreamy, they're pretty big. She definitely has some big shoes to fill, but her journey is her own. And right now I have taken up a little hobby of roping. So we have been learning how to have a rope thrown off of us, which she actually is really good at. She's very, very willing and understanding and accepting of it, which some horses wouldn't be with a rope like whooshing around their ears. But she has been very accepting of it, which I'm appreciative of.
Kiss was a pacer. He raced a lot at Mohegan Sun, and he raced a lot at Harrington. His career winnings were 236,000. I think the most amazing thing I've learned about Kiss so far is he was claimed 19 times. We are Kiss's 27th owner. The owner prior to us was just bound to determine that he find a really good home, and somebody that would be a forever home. And I think they're amazing animals.
And this is George. His registered name is Straight Atcha. I've had him now for 5 years. So he, from 2 to 8 years old, he raced. He made $360,000, and then he found his way to the Amish. He was with the Amish for another 8 years. So when he was 16, he was sent to a low-end auction, and that's where he was rescued. So he was rescued by an organization that was close to where I lived and I was volunteering for at the time. And he came in and he needed the extra care and help to kind of gain groceries and all that kind of stuff. And so we started working together. And when it came time for him to be ready for adoption, I could not imagine life without him. So I went ahead and adopted him. And so we've been together for 5 years now. Is that right? So we basically just trail ride. He does really like to walk outside and walk down the road and, see what's out there and stuff like that. And so when we do ring work, we usually, I'll put obstacles. We started doing trail obstacles. And we actually do some virtual shows. And we've worked together and done that. We do them in hand, and we also have done them riding.
So the industry overall needs help on two fronts, the racing front and the aftercare front, because we need to bring new blood into harness racing. And I believe the biggest way to do that and to get more public support for harness racing and thus the horses, because then people will want to see, they want to see their favorite race horses go on to have good careers after the track. Nowadays, nobody knows any of them unless they're like super freaks or something and they're mentioned in a newspaper. So they don't know that this horse that raced for 10 years and made $1 million and tried his best ended up getting Amished or dumped somewhere. Nobody knows. So I think racing really needs to tap into the younger generation. The younger generation seems a bit more generous and wanting to help, and they really love animals and everything. So social media is the biggest thing that they really need to tap into, and I feel like that's something they really haven't gotten into much yet, but that's what is going to bring people to the sport, because they're going to connect with somebody.
Good boy. You're a good man. You're so brave. That's so good. See?
Let's not get your boogers in the camera.
The Long Warriors trying to stick to this leader in second. Third to the inside, gentlemen to the second ID. Trying to circle up 3D. Take a look at Rockin' Airway and Troy Byers circling in menacingly here as they come to the top of the stretch. Turn for home. Boiling Ore is still there. Now to the outside, no Long Warriors attacking here. No Rockin' Airway along with Peace Out Rockin' out of the center of the list. These three really